I was recently in Botswana visiting the Chobe National Park, which is where I took this photo of an elephant. But something else caught my attention while I was there. I noticed that several photography galleries were selling wildlife images but presented as fine art prints. These had a very distinct style. The images had dramatic lighting combined with a minimalist feel and a heavy dark vignette around the edge of the frame. It was as if the animal was emerging from deep shadows into light. I really liked the look, and I decided to develop my own version of the technique. So in this video, I'll walk you through my processing step by step using Affinity Photo. Here's the starting image. I captured the original elephant photo in RAW format using a Micro Four Thirds camera. Before opening the image in Affinity Photo, I like to optimize the image quality by running it through DxO Photo Lab 9. That's where I corrected the lens distortion, I applied noise reduction using deep prime processing, and sharpened the details with the lens sharpness optimization. Of course, if you don't use DxO Photo Lab, you can still open the RAW file directly in Affinity Photo. Once I was happy with the adjustments I made in Photolab, I exported the image as a DNG file. When the DNG file is then loaded in Affinity Photo, it opens in the Develop persona. This is where we do the basic raw adjustments to create a well-exposed image to work with. This photo is a little bit too bright, so I can adjust the exposure and the black point slider until the tones feel well balanced. I then add more contrast because it's looking a little bit flat at the moment. After that, I open up the shadows so we don't lose too much detail in the darker areas of the elephant. And I always use one of the most powerful tools, which is curves, found in the Tones tab. If you don't already use curves in your editing, I really recommend learning how to. It gives you fine control over the brightness and contrast in different tonal ranges of the image. With this image, it allowed me to darken the midtones, but without affecting the highlights or shadows. This helps to shape the light and separate the elephant from the background. When I'm happy the image has a good exposure, I can develop the RAW file. Notice I have this set to produce an embedded RAW layer. This setting allows me to return to the Develop persona later and refine any of my adjustments if I need to. We're now in the Photo persona, which is the default editing persona in Affinity Photo and where we'll create our look. But before we get into how to create the fine art look, we need to tidy up the image a little. At the bottom of the frame, there's some distracting grass that pulls attention away from the elephant. To remove it, I'll use the magnetic lasso tool to make a rough selection around the grass. Used in this mode, the lasso tool follows any edges it finds in the image. But I can also switch temporarily to the polygonal mode by holding down the Command key. That allows me to finish the selection by clicking the starting point again. With the selection made, I add a new empty layer by clicking the New Layer icon at the bottom of the Layers Studio panel. This is where I'm going to make the repairs to remove the grass. To remove the grass, I'll choose the Inpainting brush from the Tools palette. Then in the toolbar, I'll set it to use the current layer and below, meaning it will sample from the current layer and the photo below when making a repair. Then I simply paint over the grass and the brush removes it. The selection I created using the lasso tool ensures the brush won't affect the elephant's trunk. Now the distraction is gone and all the focus is back on the elephant. The next step is to strip away the colour to create a powerful black and white image. To do this, add a black and white adjustment layer by clicking the adjustment icon at the bottom of the Layers panel. You can then click the black and white layer to add it to the image. In the dialog, we see sliders we can use to affect the conversion of different colours to black and white. Move them left to darken the colour and right to lighten it. Start by moving each slider left and right to understand how it affects the image. You can then decide how to adjust the image to produce the best result. Remember that when I'm doing this, I'm only focused on the elephant because I'm going to be removing the background in the next step. Once the elephant looks good, it's time to separate it from the background. To isolate the subject, I'll use the Object Selection tool to select the elephant. But first, I'll copy everything to a new merged layer by pressing Shift, Command, Option and E on my keyboard. That's Shift plus Alt plus Control plus E on a Windows PC. This gives me a new combined layer with all the adjustments baked into it. Next, I need to add a mask to the layer to hide the background. To do this, I'll first select the elephant using the Object Selection tool in the Tools palette. I'll then ensure I have the image pixel layer containing the elephant selected in the Layers panel so that the tool can analyze it. Then I simply click on the elephant and Affinity makes a selection. Now I'm not worried about making a perfect selection here, as I'll be blending the edges of the elephant into the background layer later. With the selection in place, I can add a new mask to the layer to hide the background by clicking the Add Mask icon at the bottom of the Layers panel. Once the mask has been added, I can clear the selection using the Select menu. At this point, the elephant is on a transparent background. The next step is to add a clean black background to the image. To do this, I'll add a fill layer by clicking the Layer menu and then choosing to add a fill layer. Fill layers allow you to fill the layer with any colour that you want, but for this image, I'll be using black. At first, everything is covered because the fill layer is on top, but by dragging it below the elephant layer, we can see the subject against the black background. This looks promising, but there is a problem with the edges. They are too sharp and well defined, and the elephant doesn't look like it's in shadow. To soften the edges, I'll add a new empty layer by clicking the icon at the bottom of the Layers panel. I can then activate the Brush tool from the Tools palette. To configure this, I'll use a soft edge brush with a 50% opacity and set it to paint with black. Then I can paint around the elephant's outline and onto the empty layer. This blends the subject into the background, creating the impression of deep shadows around it. This is a crucial step, so take your time. It's what transforms the image from looking like a cutout to feeling like a piece of fine art. With the subject now isolated, I want to emphasize the skin texture. Elephants have such distinctive wrinkles and patterns, and bringing these out will really add character and life to this image. To enhance the texture, I'll add a live clarity filter from the Layer menu. You'll find it in the Sharpen section. I can then push the clarity slider to the maximum. Notice how the details in the skin now jump out, but we're affecting the entire image. That could damage the blending of the elephant with the background, so I want to apply the clarity adjustment selectively. To do that, I'll add a mask to the clarity layer by clicking the new mask icon. With the mask in place, I'll then invert it to be black, hiding the layer's effect. I can then use a soft brush to paint on the mask with white in the areas where I want to emphasize the elephant's skin. To complete the fine art look, I'll refine the overall tones of the image to balance the adjustments using a levels adjustment. I'll add the levels adjustment by clicking the new adjustment layer icon in the Layers panel. In the dialog, I'll first move the gamma slider to the right. This darkens the image and helps the elephant blend further into the shadows. Then I can move the white slider to the left to brighten the highlights. This gives the photo more definition and makes the elephant's features pop where the light is falling on them. At this point, the image now has the dramatic fine art feel I was aiming for, but we can take it a step further by dodging and burning. To learn how to do that, watch this video next, and I'd also recommend my course From Ordinary to Extraordinary. The details are in the video information. Thanks for watching, and I hope this video has given you some inspiration for your own wildlife photography. I'll see you in the next video.